everybody. Hello, hello, and how is everybody doing? So come on in, get your girlfriend and girlfriends. And did you guys see the message? Also, look, I do have mine. Grab your favorite evening beverage. I have another amazing guest where we're coming on and we're doing the speaker series. And everyone is like, well, what is the speaker series? Speaker series. It is where I bring on empowering, inspiring, powerful women, but we're going to go a little deeper, right? And everyone's like, well, why do we need to go deeper? Well, I want you to know what's going underneath, not on the surface, but underneath, and how did they get there? And so that you know that they are facing or have faced some obstacles, but yet they're still going after their what's next. So if you have any questions in the meantime, in between time, drop it in the feed so I can see you. If you are not a StreamYard subscriber, you just have to give me permission to see it, or I won't be able to see your message right away. I try to keep it on here on the phone as well. Then further and foremost, let me introduce myself. My name is Pam, and I am the CEO of Envision Me Podcast. The podcast where we come in, we get down to the nitty gritty so we can help empower you, inspire you to go after your what's next by facing the what ifs and I can't. And how many and buts? How many of you are facing those obstacles and they're holding you back from going after your what's next? If that is you, drop it in the feed. Give me a 1 if that is not you. Give me a 3 if that is you. I'm just trying to see, get some feedback here. And then today is also Win Wednesday. Those of you who are new to the broadcast, the way we do it is we love celebrating you. So the way we celebrate you is, what is your win for this week? If you like, drop it in the feed. I've been getting quite a few of wins on the actually in the background here, so I'll be able to get a few. Give us some shout outs. But if you have a win and you would like to give a shout out, drop it in the feed and I'll give you a shout out. Now, on my phone is always ringing about this time, so let me stop you. What is a win? A win is a goal that you have set and you've already met, or a win is that you know you want to set a goal, but you just don't know where to start at. Or better yet, you want to start, but you're a little confused. All of that's still a win because you're recognizing what you want to do and how you want to move to your what's next. So if you're needing help in any way of getting to your goal, or needing help or thinking of ways of some goals, drop it in the feed and say I do, and I definitely will jump in, and we will be able to do some chat. So, with that being said, today's show, we have several sponsors. So, the first half of the show is sponsored by At the Table. It is At the Table is a nonprofit organization that is located here in Columbus, Ohio. They actually have a Denise Pittman scholarship education scholarship fund going on right now. So they're taking applications for the scholarship. So if you know of a young lady who is in high school or that is up to the age of 25, drop it in the feed and say I do, and I will definitely get you connected to getting that application completed. The deadline for the application is January the 29th, I believe. I think they were trying to extend it a little bit, but for sure January the 29th. But all details can be found on At the Table website, which is www.attrinc.org. And so definitely, if you know someone, hey, a little bit of money can help go a long ways. So whoever knows somebody who needs some money for education, please send them that way. So without further ado, I'm getting ready to introduce to you. So today I have AJ. That's the best way I can. She knows. That's the only way I know how to introduce her. So AJ is a mother of 6, a wife, a full-time entrepreneur. Her mission is to help women and families heal and gain financial knowledge they need to build their life they desire. So without further ado, everybody, I am getting ready to bring on my guest, AJ, as she is in the green room. Hey, lady, how are you doing? I cannot hear you.
No. Okay, there
Yes.
we are. Hey,
Yay.
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm good. Welcome back. Yes.
Yes, yes. This is awesome. I was looking for the live on Facebook, but we'll deal with that later. I just want to share it for later. So it's all good.
Okay. So while we get that going, I told everybody that you're a mother of six. So I know your life is busy, and to say
Very.
the least. To
Yes.
say the least. But I really love that you're out here empowering women women for their financial. And I'm glad we're going to talk about that because it was so important for women to understand the understandings of grasping and gripping their finances and understand what it means. But before we do that, what else would you like the audience to know about you?
Well, I would like for them to know that I am a very creative, artistic type of person. So, outside of all of the financial things I do, I actually have a very holistic side. I love herbs and teas and diamond painting, and if I can get my hands on some pottery or clay or something, I'd love to play with that too. So, there's definitely a balanced type of side to me where I can be super professional and I can be super relaxed at the same time.
Cool. I know. No, I admire you because you know what? I wish I was that creative. I'm getting there. I guess I shouldn't say that. I'm getting connected to that side, right? And
Mm,
so it's so hard to get connected to it. I'm trying to be very mindful of what I'm doing and being intentional on my time. So I'm starting to do something. I know, right? Intentional. So I know, right? I said that today at one of my meetings. I'm like, I'm going to be in I'm walking in intention and I'm
yeah.
going to make everything. And then she was like, girl, that made my skin just move. I said, oh
Yes, it's a powerful word.
yeah. Me too, though. Let's be honest. We are so consumed with, day-to-day life in society that we miss that being intentional, right? And
Yeah.
so I feel that that is one of my power words as I'm always using, as you know.
Mhm.
But I want to walk in intention. I want to be intentional on my time. I want to be intentional with the people that I am touching and surrounding as I want to be fed into. I want them to be fed into as well. So that's
Right.
how I'm really starting to become intentional with everything. So with that being said, let's jump into this is going to be fun. So
Yeah.
as you are a mother of six, first and
Mhm.
foremost, my first question is, how do you juggle this all? Even my daughter asked me, and she has two, and she was like, Mom, how is she doing this all? I'm like, I don't know. So hopefully she's listening to us. She jumps in, but I was telling her
Okay.
that you have six beautiful children. And so her question was, how do you do it?
I will definitely answer that question. And I actually was thinking about this. I knew there was a possibility I was going to get asked that. And really, my answer is I don't give myself an excuse not to. It has to be done. Diapers have to be changed, bottles have to be made, schoolwork has to get done, income has to be made. So, however, I have to organize that within my calendar. Sometimes it turns out great, sometimes it's a disaster, but they eat, they get changed, they're healthy. I mean, you just have to take your wins,
Yeah,
And so, the biggest thing that I could say that keeps me balanced, because sometimes I do get off balance, I do get stressed. I have to just remember, like, oh no, it doesn't have to be perfect. Adjustments have to be made. Don't be scared to readjust. I personally do not like change, so readjusting is hard. I don't lie to folks. Readjusting is hard, but it's just being realistic with yourself. Okay, maybe I can't do this at this time because of the kids. So, what time can I do it? And accepting that you got babies, they're kids. They don't care.
yeah,
So you just have to make life work and make sure that the people that are surrounding you understand that. If a kid busts in here, hey, look, it may happen. I did my best before this call, but they
right.
exist, and we can't pretend and hide our children. I know that that is something that is a touchy subject because you target a lot of corporate women, and it's hard to be corporate woman
Yep.
and a mom because you have
So
to
true.
ask for time off, you have obligations, deadlines, all of those things, and you're like, well, I mean, maybe I need to send my kid with grandma, or so like I don't, but you don't feel like you're able to mother because you have to work. So
Right.
yeah, that's just working with what you have and make sure that your environment understands and choose being a mother first. It's a better gift than any income, I would tell you. Like, yes, make money, but figure out a way to do what you do and still be able to nurture your family. Because at the end of the day, when everything is gone, that's all you're going to have.
Right.
And you want to make sure that you don't have those memories of, I wish I would have.
Oh my goodness, the wish I would have is so painful. I know. I'm like you. Yes, I'm still in corporate, and but yes, I did it all, you know. You're right. You just can't make it be perfect. You
Hmm.
let it go. And I know that is actually I was one of those that were trying to make everything perfect, and I was so tense, and yet didn't get to enjoy much until I'm like, okay, you know what? It is what it is. Whatever happens, happens. We'll go for it, and it's okay.
Right. The
And
shoulder shrug.
right. And you have to. But let me tell you, it took me a minute to really understand it is and stop worrying about everybody judging me. You know, let's be honest. We live in a society that people are constantly judging us, constantly watching us.
Yeah.
And so that was a hard juggle. That was a hard pill for me to swallow.
Hmm.
So when you come to those kind of obstacles or facing those type of people, what is something or how do you even deal with it?
Well, honestly, I don't really deal with people who can't accept the fact that I have multiple children. That's part of my contract. If you want to work with me, I do my very best to explain to my children not to interrupt, and most of the time they don't. And if they know that I'm live, they'll do their best not to bother me. But
Right.
there's only so much I can do. So I tell them I'm a mother first. My family comes first. If something comes up, I'm not gonna push my kids aside. Like I follow my calendar obligations. But realistically, if my kids are sick or something and need me, I will do my best. But if it can't happen, I accept that and say, hey, look, let's move this over to this day because this happened. And I'm a very consistent person. My reputation is very good. So I feel like though I'm saying this, it doesn't happen very often at all.
It
I
doesn't.
do a lot of preventative maintenance. I think even your history with me,
Yep.
I was like, I'm gonna be there. It doesn't matter. It's fine. So yeah, I think that's pretty much a good answer. I think we'll leave it there.
I I like that though. I like that you have the calendar and the contract. No, I like the
Yeah.
understanding that everybody has the contract and they understand the contract to your life and your lifestyle. So I really like that, and I like that you talked about everybody understands what's going on. Like I
Hmm.
do, but if
Yeah.
they don't, it's okay. And
Yeah.
I commend you for that because, as I said, a mother of six, you taking care of the beautiful children, family that you have, and you're married and you're
Yeah.
a full-time entrepreneur, it's hard to juggle them all, but knowing that every you have a contract, which I love, and following your calendar,
Hmm.
kudos to you. My
Thank
hands,
you, love.
that is awesome, awesome. With
I
that being
appreciate it.
said, when you got into doing, now let's move into a bit of now your entrepreneurship as you are doing the fine as a financial, I call you a financial guru. So every time I'm out talking to people and I
Hmm.
have still have the flyer that you would send me, I'm like, yeah, she's the financial guru. If you need to know anything, just call April.
Oh,
She'll tell you, or text her or email her, and they're laughing at me. I'm like, she'll be able to answer you. I promise you. If she can't, she'll find somebody
I
out.
will.
I told him that. So what led you to even going into, I mean, there's so many, job opportunities. There's the world is a fruit of our late, it's so wide open. What led you to even going down to the financial piece?
Well, finances have always been like a big question mark in my head, even as a child. I always wondered why people worked so hard for it. Like they were never home, they were stressed and angry, but they still went to this job because they had to. And I was like, well, why do you have to? I had so many questions. And then
Yeah.
I got into the workforce and I just happened to grow up in property management. So that was my first like real job. Yeah, I worked fast food when I was 16 and all that. But as soon as I could, I got into an office to put some heels and a skirt on and lease some apartments. And then I noticed, a lot of those people didn't have financial literacy education. It was just a problem that just kept coming up around me. And I didn't see a lot of proper money management around me growing up. And then I started to kind of learn and preserve my money, try to be mindful, shop when there were sales. I just automatically did these things naturally. I don't know why. And then I got into property management. And I would have conversations with them. Like when I became an assistant manager, it was my job to evict people who couldn't pay. And I didn't want to do that. I was like, what can we do? Like, what do you need? Do you need a budget? Do you need? And they would tell me, don't do that with them. I'm like, somebody needs to. I mean, who taught them? And so
Right.
when I realized that, I wasn't able to help I was just had to do a job, that's when I was like, I have to figure out a way to be the person that they can find to help them. And then I found other people who do the same thing apparently. I was like, oh, this is a thing somewhere. So I just joined and I figured out all the different areas in finances where people either get scammed or don't have the proper education, and that's what I chose to do. And then when I experienced homelessness myself, and that was when I realized, this more than just getting a check, because I was employed, but I didn't have a roof. I had a roof at one point, and then I had to make choices, and it was just a lot. Like, that was hard for me because I was a very money savvy person. I could always
Mhm.
make money, but for some odd reason, I was like, okay, well, let me go back to school for this and go to college for this, and then maybe I can make more money and I won't go through this again. And then I realized in the midst of that, I'm spending all this time on a degree, and it's not even teaching me what I want to help people do. So
Yeah.
then I started self educating, making sure I understood all things about finances, all the services that could be offered. And I just started learning. Like, while I was making babies, I was learning at the same time. I knew eventually I was going to stop and I would be able to keep, keep going with what I was trying to create. So that's pretty much what happened here. I just learned a crap ton of stuff, and it's like I'll put it together for people so when they have a resource to come to help them.
So I really let's go a little bit back to, and I will touch on a little bit because I want under everybody. We've all faced some really hardships in our lives, as you
Yeah.
have faced in home as homelessness, and I
Mhm.
too face some hardship. How did you even get through it? Because
Mhm.
it's easy to sit in that space, and it's
Mhm.
easy to let it consume you, and it's hard to see what it's like on the other side. So we have a lot of people that, and let's be honest, the economy, they were just talking about it on the news that it looks like we're getting ready to slip back into recession. So what
Yep.
is and I wanted to talk about it because I want people to know it does happen.
It's okay, Pamela. Dig. It's okay. That's what this is for. I'm not
Right,
scared. I'm good.
right. And
It's
so
okay.
what do you think? So what it give talk a little bit about that.
What do I think about, like, how I got through or
Yes, how did
everything
you
or the
get through
recession?
homelessness? Yes.
Okay. So I mean, I got through homelessness. Honestly, I almost didn't make it out. I won't even lie to you. There were some things that I experienced, and I won't go into that because I don't want this to
Right.
get flagged or anything. But it was tough. I almost didn't make it out, and so I had to really think about what I was trying to accomplish in life. Okay, what are you doing? Why are you here? What got you here? What decisions brought you to this place right here? So we can never do this again.
Wow.
Having that confrontation with yourself, because everybody's going to come for you. People are going to be gossiping about you. You
Yeah.
have to, like, block them out and really look at you and say, I did this somehow, some way. I can't blame anybody else. Yes, this man may have done this, and he wasn't working and blah blah. No, you are the head of your life. If you're not
Right.
married, you are the head of your life. So therefore, no matter what anyone else does, your decisions are your decisions. And so when I actually sat down with myself and I realized I made a bad relationship decision. I was trying to salvage something that I should have let go of, and in the midst of that, I lost everything, and still tried to hold on for some odd reason. And then I got pregnant with my first daughter while being pillar to post, and it was kind of crazy. So yeah, and trying to do just anything I could to survive, working 2, 3 jobs while going to school. It was a lot. I was like, I don't want this. Then I was faced with, okay, what do you really want? Because like now we're getting through it. We have a couch to lay on at 8 months pregnant. Our back hurts, so we're gonna get a place. How are we gonna do that? It's the whole planning. Start to plan and really believe that whatever you want to do, you can do. I went back to cosmetology school at 8 months pregnant, and I finished my hours.
Good for
I
you.
got like 120% attendance. I was like, I don't even know how y'all did that, but okay. I was there from 8 a.m. to 10 p.m. I didn't have a job. So I was there to make tips so I could eat, so I could, pay for the deposit for my little housing apartment. I was like, my baby needs a roof over her head when she's born.
Yes.
So as mama, I had to get out there and make sure I could make that happen. And I could braid some hair, do something to make some money for her. My rent was only like $70. I was like, I can get $70. You know, like that's not hard. So it's just finding whatever's gonna work for you and
Right.
being real with yourself. You're gonna cry, okay? It's gonna be hard. You're gonna feel crappy about yourself, but then you have to get up and you have to make it happen. And I know it's hard. Like there were some days I was like, I don't want to, but something in me was like, if I don't get up and I stop right here, I don't know what's gonna be on the other side. I know
Mm,
I'm going through this for somebody. I'm getting chills right now. So whoever's watching, I know I'm saying this for somebody. It's okay to talk to yourself. and process and write down or speak what you really desire for yourself. We don't even have to go to as far as a man. Let's start with you first. What kind of woman do I want to be? I knew I wanted to be, independent, self-sufficient. Even though I'm married, I've always been an independent person. But I also
Right.
wanted to be, soft enough to actually be married, to handle a marriage, to know how to love a man. Because I was raised by single women. So I knew I wanted to be different from them. So I had to move different. I had to act different, carry myself differently. My personality had to be different. I had to change all of that. And that's hard to create something you've never seen and go through something like that. And you're like, but then you get to start over. That's the
Yeah.
part you don't see when you're in it. Like, I got to recreate my life. Like, thank God for that I had that moment. And so I think that answers your question. I had a whole
Yes, it
little
does.
moment there, but yeah, I think we can move
No,
on.
and thank you for sharing. And Brooke
You're
says she
welcome.
loved Brooke. Hey, Brooke, thank you for
Hey,
joining us.
Brooke. She's the reason this
I
happened.
know, right? Right. This is all because of her.
Yeah, she don't like shout outs, y'all. So she's gonna be like, oh no.
Right.
But
She's
it
so
was her. We're gonna say
right.
it. It was
Right. Yeah.
her.
We're gonna vouch for her. So then AJ, say if someone wants to connect with you on the financial side, or if they want to just talk to you, how can one get connected to you?
Well, I am on every platform except Twitter. So if you look up Guidance by AJ or just type in my name, I typically keep the same style. I'll either have braids or curly hair. And then, yeah, so I've changed all my names to like Guidance by AJ. I don't have my company name up here, but, message me, email me, and just hit me up. Let me know if you need support. Hey, do you have resources? Or maybe you can't pay me right now. Maybe you are going through the same exact thing that I was. I'll send you resources. I have a whole book for that. If you need to know how to budget, how to fix your credit on your own because you can't pay anybody, talk to me. If you have a budget for services you can get, I'm pretty sure I can fit in there. So, yeah.
I'm trying to tell y'all. I was AJ. I was just as I said before we talk at the beginning of the conversation. I was with my marketing team, and I'm like, you guys, I'm getting ready to go talk to AJ, and they're like, okay, who's AJ?
Who's
I'm like,
that?
she's the financial guru of it all, and they know it all. So then, real quick before we go into a break, you know how it is at the beginning of the year, and everyone is out here creating their savings plan. Do you
Yeah.
have a particular savings plan for one to follow if they wanted to?
Yes, I do actually. My rule of thumb, and people should know this, but some people don't. You need to have at least 3 to 6 months of your expenses saved in an emergency fund, and the best way to do that is to find an account that gives you a high interest rate. So I do not get a commission for saying this name, but Betterment is a good product. I think it gives you like over 3%. And
Hmm.
so that's really good because banks give you like 0.00025. So you want to have it growing somewhere and sitting away from your account, and just make sure that you actually calculate what that amount is. So whatever your income is every month, times it by 3 or 6, and put that away consistently. And if you can't do like, a massive amount, start with just $10 a check. Start
Hmm.
with $100 a month, whatever leisure money you have. And if you don't know what that looks like for you, I'll find this live and give you this free link to do a budget where you can see what's going in and coming out and what's left over realistically. And then you can start a plan from there.
Love it, love it. So I'm going to go ahead and put you in the green room, and I'm gonna do some things, and I'll come back to you in just a moment. Thank you.
Awesome. Okay.
So you guys, did you get your nuggets? Did you get what how she had, and I wanted everyone to understand that we do all face some type of life interesting changes, right? Just as AJ faced it, she faced homelessness, and we all face them, but it's all about how do you get out of it? Do you sit in it? Do you cry? Do you wallow? Or you sit in it and then you move? As she even talked about how she envisioned herself to be, and that she loved that she gets to create a new her. Well, you can too. So if you're looking for a way to start your what's next, or if you're looking to just sit down and talk, you can actually drop it in the feed and say, I want to talk to you, or you want to talk to AJ. I will definitely connect to you. This is all about empowering you, inspiring you, and equipping you for your what's next. And then I also love that she talked about savings. Women, this is really for the women at this point. There's so many women out here who are not saving, who doesn't even know how to connect to their money. And that's why I wanted AJ to talk about it before we went to our break, on how to save money, what to do, what count to use. And then what I really love is she talked about the little nugget. If you don't have the mass or the big chunk of money to put in, start with $10. Start with whatever's laying around and put it in an account that has a high interest rate, as she talked about. But before we bring AJ back in, and if you have any questions, I've been trying to keep watching my phone. If you have any questions, drop them in the feed. I will definitely get to you. This is Win Wednesday. I would love to hear your win. You'll get to hear our win in a little bit, but we're here to celebrate you as well. So tonight's show, this other half of the show is all sponsored by Vision Made Magazine. Vision Made Magazine has partnered up with Vision Made Vision Board. We have a kit now, everybody, that allows you to create your goals. And now I always tell you to create small goals. So what did we do? We created a small vision board kit that allow you to create goals for 30 days. Not only will the kit allow you to create the goals, then we also have Vision Made Magazine, which is a magazine that is done on a quarterly basis. I don't know if you guys have seen it. I will have to bring it with me on next week's show. That the magazine is out. The winter quarter issue is out. I have some amazing writers in there. So if you're interested in getting either products or both products, DM me and I will definitely connect you the way you can read the way you can purchase those products. So let's bring AJ back in and let's get a little personal, or let's find out what she does on for her self-care. Hold on. Okay, AJ. So, with that being said, we're going to go a little bit. So, what do you do as you are a busy woman we just talked about? What is a self care routine that you do for yourself? You're on mute. I'm sorry.
That's so funny. Okay, yeah, I didn't want a kid to scream, and I just keep forgetting to unmute that thing. My apologies, you guys.
Yay. That's okay.
So my routine for self care, it's very difficult. So what I do is I have to wait till everybody goes to bed, and I have to allow myself to be in the silence of my home. I actually crave it, and sometimes you can't be extra when there's so many moving parts in your house. You have to just sit from like 11 to midnight sometimes, and just after hubby falls asleep, kids are asleep, just stand there in the middle of the house and just listen. Nothing but birds and dogs barking and whatever. But it's peace. So allow yourself to feel that peace for at least 5, 10 minutes before your hubby's alarm goes off and he's like, "Where's my wife?" Mine does that. Like, go upstairs. But I love him. He loves me. He has his AJ radar. That's what he calls it. Because he knows I'll be up till 2, 3 in the morning. Let me have a project I'm working on. He'll be like, "Hey, go lay down." But I need that. And so, sometimes if I end up waking up at 5 o'clock in the morning, I do not force myself to go back to sleep. I
Mm-hmm.
believe in enjoying that quiet time. I may not work. I may work. It just depends on how I'm feeling. It's That's pretty much my regimen, is enjoying the quiet.
I love that. I do too. It's funny that you're up there late. I do too. I wait till the whole house is settled and
Mhm.
everything is just all peaceful and quiet. And that's when and I love it. And I will sit in silence, like Mike, you, with no TV on, no nothing on, and just me, and just sit there and woosah the time, me time. So
Yes.
I
If
love that.
if people could find the beauty in that,
Oh my.
you'll you'll win. Like, you don't need the phone, you don't need the music, you don't need, I mean, yeah, if you want to play some music or whatever to help you clean and stuff and all that, that's fine. But sis, if you could just sit down somewhere,
Mm.
like, you will find some peace.
Absolutely. Well, like we do at every show, I always do book on the shelf. Book on the shelf is a book that we are reading, or you're reading, and that
Mhm.
you would like to recommend to the audience, or a book that you have read and you would like to refer to the audience. Is there one that you have in particular?
Yes. So I have two options here. My kids are about to come upstairs and tell me somebody rang my doorbell. I don't know who it is, why. No one's expected to come over. And we are live. So I have no idea how I'm about to handle that situation. But I have, so there's a book called How Money Works. For the sake of who I am, the financial guru, as Pamela likes to say, I don't call myself that. It's all her. I'll take it in your network, but I don't say that anywhere else. How Money Works is actually a really cool book that gives you a very simplified, I don't want to say dumbed down, but watered down version of financial literacy. And the
Ooh,
goal is to kind of get this book into as many hands as possible. So anyone who is on the podcast, I can send Pamela a free digital copy and she can share it with you guys as a gift
absolutely.
from me, for tuning in, with spending some time, letting me occupy space in your life today. And so you can just take it. It's a quick read. It's not even 100 pages. Yeah, and so that's one book I recommend. The second book, I can't really find it, but I do have this one here, especially because you have like a business network where you try to help women in corporate finance. So, Who Moved My Cheese is a very
Yes.
interesting book. And it has other series. It's like I moved your cheese, and so like if you look on Amazon, it's like a whole bunch of them, and there it's a very short read. Like if you look,
Mhm.
it's a little, it takes maybe an hour, and it's just cool. So if you want to take a look at this book, definitely. If you want to figure out where your money is and who moved it and how it works, read this book.
Actually, I just read that book for the fourth time. I just finished reading that book. So it is a very good book. I
Mhm.
love that. But yes, I would love for the link. So we drop the link and we can have everybody. I'm all about this quarter about doing financial literacy. So be on the lookout for the link so you can read that, access that book. So as we get ready to come close to the end of the show, AJ, what is your what's next?
My what's next? So my what's next is fun, guys. Okay, so I am actually a ambassador and partner in a mental health nonprofit that focuses on civilian mental health and helping people, kind of targeting different areas of trauma. And I actually get to be the financial coach for everyone. I get to take care of a bunch of athletes and young teenagers from like 13 to 25. It's gonna be so fun. So we just expanded to Australia. We have some partnerships that's going with a nonprofit in Africa that actually helps women who've gone through human trafficking. So it's really going to be fun to kind of dig in and really help people who really need my help,
Yeah.
and kind of park my youth program over there so I don't have to market to the masses. I'm not a masses person. I like exclusivity. So yeah, that's my what's next. Really working hard with my partner Michelle and growing and just building up new ambassadors in different states that can help this mission like take off.
Oh, that is so cool. Well, congratulations. So
Thank
deserved. So
you.
well
Oh,
deserved.
and it's called B University. My goodness. Sorry. You can Google, search, whatever. How did I not name drop? How do you say something like that and not say the name of it?
That is so cool. Well, congratulations. So well deserved. So
Thank
well
you.
deserved. So congratulations. And then I have two more questions. And
Sure.
the last one is the first one is what's your win for this week?
My win for this week is, oh, that was actually going to be my win. I didn't know if you were going to ask me that. My win for this week is I actually helped 10 families protect their income this
Ooh,
week. And so that's why it's been pretty crazy. But the fact that people are listening and seeing that the economy is changing, they need to protect their income, they need to make sure their families are going to be okay in the event of the inevitable, as I like to say. So that's been pretty cool. That business is doing well. It's not even about the money, it's really just the protection and not seeing GoFundMe posts and plate sales all over my feed. If I can handle that, then I'll feel better. I feel like I'm doing my job.
nice. And then my last question. Oh, wait a minute, I have two. Then my next question is sorry. Then my
Okay.
next question is before we leave, what is one thing you would like to leave our listeners with that they can implement now?
Okay, what I would like to leave you with is basically just don't beat yourself up about what you don't know. Be willing to educate yourself. Don't rely on other people to teach you things, especially folks that are doing better than you, honey. Sometimes they don't want you to do better than them, so they're not going to tell you anything. If you see someone that it doesn't have to be me. Maybe you saw somebody a couple days ago that you thought about reaching out to. Reach out to them. Get some information. A consultation call doesn't hurt anybody. Figure out how you can fix it. There's a lot of free resources online. Just start to search, because if you don't, you're never going to learn, and not learning is not going to fix your situation. So
So
that's what I
true.
have to say.
And then lastly, what would you like to leave the audience with?
Well, first is going to be the digital copy of how many works, and also I want to leave you guys with the opportunity to connect with me. I want to talk to you. You know, if you resonate with anything I said, if you're going through a tough situation, this conversation will be between me and you. I want to give you an opportunity to talk to somebody who's been through what you've been through, has been where you are, and possibly help you out of it.
And so, how can they do that? How
They
can they
can
connect?
connect with me online. Guidance by AJ. Search for my name on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. I think you have my Linktree link,
Yep.
Pamela. It has
I
all of my social media links at the bottom. So definitely feel free to reach out to me, DM me anywhere, and I will reach out to you. I mean, let me know you saw me on the Envision podcast. So I know who you are, but I will gladly conversate with you.
Oh my goodness. Well, AJ, again, as always, we always have a blast. Time
We
goes so
do.
right. It goes so fast. I can't believe our time is over. I want to thank you for coming and joining us. So hang on before and don't hang up yet. Everybody, those of you who are watching, we want to first and foremost thank you for taking the time out and sitting and grabbing. Look, you guys, if you don't think she dropped nuggets, I have 2 pages of nuggets. So if you guys didn't get anything, you have to go to the replay and be able to listen to what she just dropped. It was some amazing nuggets. But I want you all to understand, listen, you have one life to live. Live your life for you and for nobody else. And live it to the fullest. Because guess what? Again, we only have one life to live. And you have, as AJ said, you can reinvent yourself. That's the exciting part that I love. You can reinvent yourself no matter what time. So you go out here, go learn, as she said, go out here and be a vessel and learn. She's a self educator, so can you. So get out here and do something. And if you're needing connections, just drop it in the feed and say, help, and I'll reach out. And if I can't help you, AJ's here. I told you, you guys,
Yeah.
she's a financial guru and she's here to help. So until next week, you guys, when I have another amazing guest that will drop in and drop her amazing story as AJ does, take care of yourself and know that you're a blessing and be a blessing to someone else. Take care of everyone. Bye.
Bye.